Today, Black Life Academy speaks without fear, without apology, and without filters. The so-called formal education brought to Africa was never designed to liberate us. It was carefully engineered to keep Africa in generational slavery, mental, cultural, economic, and political. The foreign systems of government, lifestyle, and values forced into our schools were not created to solve African problems. They were designed to manage Africa for foreign benefit. Let me say this again, clearly. If foreign education was truly meant to free Africa, they would never have brought it to us and forced us to learn it. So let us ask the honest questions. What did we achieve from it? Erasing our cultures and adopting theirs as civilization. Behaving abnormally and calling it wisdom. Hating ourselves while accusing our ancestors of being primitive. Producing graduates who can explain foreign problems fluently but cannot solve African ones. When invaders entered Africa, many African ancestors saw through the deception. They condemned Western education as a dangerous control tool, not because they rejected knowledge, but because they recognized domination disguised as learning. Sadly, some Africans, brainwashed, exported abroad, and returned, became carriers of this system, spreading misery and confusion that still haunt Africa today. When chains and kidnapping became too obvious, the strategy changed. Black people were first denied access to education in the West. Later, it was discovered that denying education would not fully secure Africa. So Africans were allowed to study, but with limits. Africans did well. Africans excelled. Africans contributed greatly. Yet recognition was blocked. They recognized themselves. They awarded themselves. They crowned themselves even in fields where Africans also stood tall. Then came the psychological weapon, selective recognition. Africa was not celebrated for industrial power, scientific dominance, or economic independence. Instead, Africa was repeatedly showcased through peace awards. While our land burned, our resources were looted, and our economies remained controlled. Look closely at the pattern. African Nobel Peace Prizes just make Africa feel among. Desmond Tutu and Nelson Mandela were used to erase memory of apartheid from South African minds. This is not an attack on individuals. Many acted with sincerity. The real issue is the system. A system that rewards peace talk while ignoring economic justice, resource sovereignty, industrial power, African design systems. Africa is encouraged to forgive quickly, reconcile endlessly, and remain calm, while exploitation continues smoothly. And the strategy went even further. Black Americans were also elevated with the same prize to give domination a black face. Ralph Bunche, embedded in global institutions that managed post-colonial Africa within Western limits. Martin Luther King Jr., a moral giant whose philosophy was exported globally, often discouraging radical economic and structural resistance where it was most needed. Barack Obama, awarded before achievement, while Africa witnessed the destruction of Libya and the expansion of foreign military influence across the continent. This is not coincidence. This is strategy. Awards are used as tools. Applause replaces justice. Peace becomes a substitute for power, and now consider the irony. Today is Valentine's Day, a global celebration of love, yet Africa is constantly told to choose love without power, peace without justice, dialogue without ownership, awards instead of independence. Valentine's Day was not founded by a black man, yet Africa is pressured to romanticize peace while bleeding. Black Life Academy says, enough. Africa does not need foreign validation. Africa does not need symbolic trophies. Africa needs self-belief, self-definition, and self-designed education. We call on black scholars and African thinkers everywhere. Rethink African education. Rebuild it for African life, African culture, African economy. Abandon foreign systems that contradict our realities. Stop measuring African intelligence by foreign approval. Until we change what we teach our children, we will keep producing minds that serve foreign systems instead of African futures. Black Life Academy has spoken. Think, question, rebuild until we reclaim peace and love that once in existence in Africa.